Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Monday, the 5th of September 2022. So on Friday, stocks tumble after Gazprom completely halts Nord Stream indefinitely due to unexpected leak. Well, it's obviously begs the question, is it a leak or is it just part of the reaction by Putin to what the G7 proposed of gas cap prices, etc. on Friday? But anyway, it sent the markets moving lower. Putin kills Goldilocks, stock slammed as Russia wrecks Dove's dream. Nasdaq just suffered its longest losing streak in over 3 years. We had the non-farm payroll numbers, which saw the market rally, and of course that evaporated immediately as soon as this news was announced. And overnight, this has been released. As Europe implodes, it plans radical intervention, including price setting, suspending derivative markets, which is interesting, and Europe-wide margin call bailouts. Now, I don't know if this is just suspending derivative fuel contracts, i.e. futures and options, energy ones for the gas price, the wholesale market, or it's across the board, which will be interesting to see if the markets continue to move lower and they decide to stop any short selling, which they did in 2001 with the 9/11 situation there with the Twin Towers. That saw short selling banned, and also in 2008. And we may see this happening again, obviously, but I'm sure this is just energy contracts at the moment, not all derivatives. And economic news for today. Well, the US is closed today. It's Labor Day, so that's off the cards. Then we've just got PMIs for Spain, Italy, France, Germany, and final PMI for the whole of the Eurozone. Services as well, and retail sales. And there's an OPEC meeting as well. See if they're going to reduce supply on the market as well, as crude oil is starting to move back to the upside. Gold-silver ratio is sideways. Silver holds. And I'm amazed actually overnight because the dollar has really screamed higher because of the geopolitical situation with the Russians turning off the gas. And silver has held, which is an interesting one. But let's have a look at the market action from Friday. Starting off with the Dow, you can see that prices had moved to the upside, only to be moved back down later during the session. So if we look at the 30-minute chart, you will see that we had the news, the NFP numbers, the market moved up strongly. We saw prices moving up 100, 200, 300, nearly 400 points on the upside on the non-farm payroll numbers, which came out at 315. They were forecast at 295. They were nowhere near the 100,000 that Goldman Sachs had spoken about. But as soon as the news was announced that Russia had cut off the gas pipe, and you can see there exactly what happened. The market absolutely fell out of bed to the tune of, let's just have a look, down to the low there of 837 points. Overnight, the market's been sideways to lower. There is no cash Dow today. There will only be electronic pricing for the Dow derivatives as they are known. And the market will have to make its own direction on the basis of what it thinks, the futures market that is, of what the Dow would have done had it have been open, i.e. the cash market. But at the moment you can see it's stuck in a range there of 50 points. In the German DAX daily chart, you can see the same thing as well. The market having moved up way above the 5-bar moving average, and also, if you look here, you'll see we traded up to 78% retracement from here back to here, and then obviously sold off. You can see the market is lower on the overnight, approaching those 89s that we spoke of in Friday's Market Alert. If we break these two green lines here are going to be really important, particularly this one to the left where we see 12,384. We actually got back above the 13,000 psychological level as well on Friday for the DAX, but it failed to hold, obviously, with the breaking news later on in the evening. Here you can see the market was stuck in a sideways range waiting for the NFP numbers. The market broke out, traded up to the R3, and then fell out of bed completely, moving to the downside there. A market down 100, 200, 300, 400 points for the DAX on Friday evening there. Currently sitting at Friday's low, very important area that the market holds here. If it doesn't, then we'll see prices continue lower. Any chance of getting back above this will be obviously looked for, but whether it will hold, because as we go through the week, and if the gas pipe isn't opened back up, then we're going to see further geopolitical volatility coming into the market. In the 5-minute chart, you can see we were sort of just trading to the upside during Friday, just treading water with small moves, waiting for the NFP numbers. They were released at 1:30, and then you see the markets moving to the upside and then sideways into the early evening until the announcement and news is made of the gas pipe being turned off. Overnight, you can see that we've got prices just sitting at the low. They've come back a few times, but failed to hold. At 7 a.m. I expect we'll see prices rallying up to the low, and then maybe not hold, and then continuing to the downside. Last week's results are in. Let's just have a look for the week. You can see that we have a net profit of 2,280. Took advantage of the NFP numbers on Friday and the move back to the downside as well. Profit factor of 4.14, so that's 4 times average winners to losers. And profit on trades was 54 to 46, so just over half, 50-50, but still making decent profits there with consecutive. Let's have a look with the one I'm after here for you. Yeah, consecutive profit count there, 2053 as against 187. So you can see there, letting those profits run when you've got a really good situation is very, very important. The total from the 19th of January continues to grow. We're now at a balance of 37,843 of the original 10,000 on the account, and 27,000 net there on the trades, 2.31, and we're still at 55-45 for the win-loss ratio there. And again, consecutive counts of 84595 to 7 or minus 703 there. In the S&P, well, it's the same as the Dow. Markets traded back down to the 62% retracement, failed to hold above the 5-bar moving average. And in the 30-minute chart, you can see the market's reaction to the NFP numbers up to the R2. Then the news breaks, the market comes all the way back down, and you can see currently stronger than the DAX is actually sitting at the close. Watch the low if you get a move to the downside. If this is broken, then expect prices to continue to the downside as well. Just have a quick look at the monthly chart of the S&P. See where we are in the bigger time frame. It's always useful as a good indication of where the market's likely to go. And we can see that we've got prices sideways to lower there. If we just draw in some fibs, you can see we're getting close to a 62% retracement. I suspect this is the same for the Dow and also for the DAX as well. And the FTSE, same thing, market attempting to get up to the 5-bar moving average, failing. Might be a bit of a move to the upside today when they announce the new Prime Minister for the UK, which is likely to be Truss. Which is already baked into the cake, I suppose, in one way, so don't expect miracles with that one or any major moves. 78% retracement is very important in this market, as we've seen that it was just a few days ago as well. In the 30-minute chart, again, the market moving up very strongly until the gas pipe situation, but also above the low as well, sitting at the close, unlike the DAX, which you'd expect to have more weakness. Let's face it, it's in Europe. Europe is the one that's affected by what happened during the announcement on Friday. In the currencies, we can see there that we've got the yen down against the dollar, the pound yen, down about 78% retracement, isn't it, from there to there? Yeah, just coming through there. Watch the low to the left that we can see here. 30-minute chart up slightly, retracement 89%, back down with the news, back up, and then of course selling off later on in the evening. Meanwhile, the pound continues to move lower on Friday and also overnight, as well as the US dollar moves higher. You can see Friday it did absolutely nothing, stuck in a range, double topped before the market then moved to the downside, which you can see there. And finally, in the metals, we can see that silver is sideways to higher. I'm surprised by this, particularly that the dollar is higher, but at the moment holding at the $18 level, and we can see a bit of demand there. We're certainly oversold on the downside. The gold market, actually before I do that, let's just have a look at Friday's data and market action. In the 30-minute chart, you can see their prices were sideways. The market reacted strongly to the NFP numbers and then has continued to move sideways to lower. Again, watch the low down here as the market starts to trade. And in the gold market, prices sideways to high, which you'd expect given the geopolitical volatility that we're starting to see. 30-minute chart there, NFP numbers moving higher and maintaining that overnight as well. In the US dollar, breaking through the 109.935, currently trading at the 110.25 area, so strong and amazing. The metals are holding up, but like I say, I think that's underpinned by the geopolitical situation there with the gas pipe. And then crude oil sideways to higher there as well, obviously on the potential energy issue that we have in Europe. Okay, that will do it for this one. Let's see what the market does, despite the fact that the Dow is closed at 4 today, the cash market, and the S&P. So it's a case of what they do with the derivatives. And of course, the breaking news. Okay, that's it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.